Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new, please consider subscribing. My name is Yadi and I make educational videos for beauty professionals in training and for those who like to continue learning. In today's video, we are going to be covering some very important information. If you are in the state of Texas and you are a cosmetologist, a barber, an esthetician, an eyelash specialist, or a nail technician, this information is something that you do not want to skip, and you want to make sure that you study before going to take your state board exam. But it is information that you must be aware of regardless. Remember that in this case, you are the licensee holder and the practitioner. If you are not in the state of Texas and studying for your state board exam, look for your state's laws, rules, and regulations to reference. In this video, we are going to be covering health and safety definitions, health and safety standards, reviewing department and approved disinfectants, general requirements, hair cutting, styling, shaving, and treatment services, esthetician services, temporary hair removal services, blood and body fluids, prohibited products or practices, FDA, establishments and schools, eyelash extension application services. If you are a nail technician and you are needing to review health and safety standards over drill bits, foot spas, and basins, please check out the Practice Nail Technician Test number 6 and 7. You will be able to find all of that information on those two practice tests. You guys, if you find all of this helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you are new, consider subscribing. Share it with someone who you may believe could find all of this information helpful. Please be sure to check out the description box. I will be leaving a link to where all of this information was found from the state website. I'll be sure to also include the link for those of you that are interested in ordering a new Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations laws and rulebook. And no, I am not affiliated with TDLR in any way. I'm just simply here to bring you all of this information so that you're able to be knowledgeable and get you ready for your test, and hoping that you find all of this a little bit more easy to understand. Well, you guys, with all that being said, if you do find this useful, don't forget to share it with a friend, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if this is all helping you. You guys, let's keep going, let's keep growing, let's get started. Health and safety definitions. The following words and terms, when used in this chapter, shall have the following meanings unless the context clearly indicates otherwise. Number 1. Chlorine bleach solution, a chemical used to destroy bacteria and to disinfect implements and non-porous surfaces. Solution should be mixed fresh at least once per day as used in this chapter. Chlorine bleach solution fall into 3 categories based on concentration and exposure time. A. Low-level disinfection. Add 2 teaspoons of household 5.25% bleach to 1 gallon of water. Soak time would be 10 minutes minimum. B. A high-level disinfection. Add 1/3 cup household 5.25% bleach to 1 gallon of water. Soak time would be 20 minutes minimum. C. Blood and body fluid cleanup and disinfection. Add 1 3/4 cup household 5.25% bleach to 1 gallon of water, also referred to as 10% bleach solution. Number 2. Clean or cleansing. Washing with liquid soap and water, detergent, antiseptics, or other adequate methods to remove all visible debris or residue. Cleansing is not disinfection. Number 3. Disinfect or disinfection. The use of chemicals to destroy pathogens on implements and other hard, non-porous surfaces to render an item safe for handling, use, and disposal. Number 4, disinfectant. In this chapter, one of the following department-approved chemicals: A, an EPA registered bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal disinfectant used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions, or B, a chlorine bleach solution used in accordance with this chapter. 5. EPA registered bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal disinfectant, when used according to the manufacturer's instructions, a chemical that is a low-level disinfectant used to destroy bacteria and to disinfect implements and non-porous surfaces. 6. Multi-use items. Items constructed of hard material with smooth surfaces such as metal, glass, or plastic, typically for use on more than one client. The term includes, but is not limited to, such items as clippers, scissors, combs, nippers, tweezers, and some nail files. 7. Single-use items. Porous items made or constructed of cloth, wood, or other absorbent material having rough surfaces, usually intended for single use, including but not limited to such items as tissues, orange wood sticks, cotton balls, thread, surgical tape, extension pads, some buffer blocks, and gauze. 8. Sterilize or sterilization. To eliminate all forms of bacteria or other microorganisms by use of an autoclave or dry heat sterilizer. 9. Sanitize or sanitation. To reduce the number of microorganisms to a safe level by use of an ultraviolet sanitizer. Health and Safety Standards Department approved disinfectants. A. EPA registered bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal disinfectants must be used as follows. 1. Implements and surfaces must be first thoroughly cleaned of all debris prior to disinfection. EPA registered bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal disinfectants become inactivated and ineffective when visible, contaminated with debris, hair, dirt, and particulates. 2. Some disinfectants may be sprayed on the instrument, tools, or equipment to be disinfected. 3. Disinfectants in which implements are to be immersed must be prepared fresh daily, or more often if solution becomes diluted or soiled. 4. In all cases, the disinfectant must be used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions for disinfecting or other guidance in this rule. 5. These chemicals are harsh and may affect the long-term use of scissors and other sharp objects. Therefore, the department recommends leaving items in solution in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations for effective disinfection. B. Chlorine bleach solution must be used as follows. 1. Chlorine bleach at the appropriate concentration is an effective disinfectant for all purposes in an establishment. 2. Chlorine bleach solution must be mixed daily. 3. Chlorine bleach must be kept in a closed cover container and not exposed to sunlight. 4. Chlorine bleach may affect the long-term use of scissors and other sharp objects, so the department does not recommend leaving items in bleach solution beyond 2 minutes for effective disinfection. 5 minutes if disinfecting for blood contamination. 5. Chlorine bleach vapors might react with vapors from other chemicals. Therefore, chlorine bleach solution must not be placed or stored near other chemicals used in the establishment, for example, acrylic monomers, alcohol, or other disinfecting products, or near flame. 6. Used or soiled chlorine bleach solution must be properly disposed of each day. Health and safety standards, general requirements. A. All practitioners must clean their hands with soap and water or use a hand sanitizer prior to performing any service as is necessary during the service to ensure a client's health and safety. All establishments, schools, and practitioners must utilize clean and disinfected equipment, tools, implements, and supplies in accordance with this chapter, and shall employ good hygiene habits while providing barbering or cosmetology services. B. A practitioner may not perform services on a client if the practitioner has reason to believe the client has a contagious condition such as head lice, mites, ringworms, conjunctivitis, or inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin or nail tissue, or an open wound or sore in an area to be serviced. C. Multi-use equipment, implements, tools, or materials not addressed in this chapter must be cleaned and disinfected before the use on each client, except as otherwise provided in this chapter. Chairs and dryers do not need to be disinfected prior to use for each client. D. Single-use equipment, implements, tools, or porous items not addressed in this rule must be discarded after use on a single client. E. Electrical equipment that cannot be immersed in liquid must be wiped clean and disinfected prior to each use on a client. F. All clean and disinfected implements and materials, when not in use, must be stored in a clean, dry, debris-free environment, including but not limited to drawers, cases, tool belts, rolling trays, or hung from hooks. They must be stored separate from soiled implements and materials. Ultraviolet electrical sanitizers are permissible for use as a dry storage container. Supplies not related to barbering and cosmetology must be stored in a separate drawer or location. G. Shampoo bowls and manicure tables must be disinfected prior to use for each client. H. A container large enough to fully immerse all tools and implements with liquid disinfectant must be used to disinfect combs, brushes, scissors, or other equipment which may be safely immersed in a liquid disinfectant. I. Floors in establishments and schools must be thoroughly cleaned each day. Hair cuttings must be removed as soon as possible. J. All trash containers must be emptied daily and kept clean by washing or using plastic liners. K. Hand washing facilities, including hot and cold running water, must be provided for employees. L. Clean towels must be used on each client. Towels must be washed in hot water and chlorine bleach. M. Soiled towels must be removed after use on each client and deposited in a suitable receptacle. N. Each establishment and school must keep all product used in the conduct of their business properly labeled in compliance with OSHA requirements. O. Hair cutting and shampoo capes must be kept clean. A clean one-use cape must be used for each client, or a sanitary neck strip or towel must be used to keep the cape from coming into direct contact with the client's neck. Hair cutting, styling, shaving, and treatment services. A. Practitioners must wash their hands with soap and water or use a liquid hand sanitizer prior to performing any service on a client. B. All equipment, implements, tools, and materials must be properly cleaned and disinfected in accordance with this rule prior to servicing each client. C. After each client, all non-single-use implements must be wiped with a clean paper or fabric towel and sprayed with either an EPA registered bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal disinfectant or a high-level disinfectant chlorine bleach solution. Equipment, implements, tools, and materials to be cleaned and disinfected include but are not limited to combs and picks, haircutting shears, thinning shears, texturizers, razors, safety razors, edgers, guards, clippers, and perm rods. D. At the end of each day of use, the above items, along with any other tools, such as sectioning clips, brushes, combs, and picks, must be cleaned and manually scrubbed with soap and water or an adequate method, and then disinfected by one of the following methods. Either 1. Complete immersion with an EPA registered bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal disinfectant in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions, or 2. Complete immersion in a high-level disinfectant chlorine bleach solution. Health and safety standards, esthetician services. A. Practitioners must wash their hands with soap and water or use a liquid hand sanitizer prior to performing any service on a client. Gloves must be worn during any type of extractions. B. Equipment, implements, tools, and materials must be properly cleaned and disinfected after servicing each client in accordance with this rule. C. Facial chairs and beds, including headrests for each, must be cleaned and disinfected after providing service to each client. The chair or bed must be made of or covered in a non-porous material that can be disinfected. D. After each client, multiple-use implements such as metal tweezers and comedone extractors must be cleaned and disinfected. E. The following implements are single-use items and must be discarded in a trash receptacle after use. Cotton pads, cotton balls, gauze, wooden applicators, disposable gloves, tissue, thread, disposable wipes, lancets, fabric strips, and other items used in a similar purpose as one of more of the items listed above. F. The following items that are used during services must be replaced with a clean item for each client. Disposable and terry cloth towels, hair caps, headbands, brushes, gowns, makeup brushes, spatulas that contact with skin or product for multi-use containers, sponges, and other items used for a similar purpose as one or more of the items listed above. G. Items subject to possible cross-contamination such as creams, cosmetics, astringents, lotions, removers, waxes, moisturizers, masks, oils, and other preparations must be used in a manner so as not to contaminate the remaining product. Applicators must not be re-dipped in product. Permitted procedures to avoid cross-contamination are 1. Disposing of the remaining product before beginning service on each client, or 2. Using a single-use disposable implement to apply product and disposing of such implement after use, or 3. Using an applicator bottle to apply the product. Health and safety standards, temporary hair removal services. A. Practitioners must wash their hands with soap and water or use a liquid hand sanitizer prior to performing any service on a client. B. Practitioners must clean the area of the client's body on which the service is to be administered. C. Practitioners performing temporary hair removal services involving the use of depilatory preparations or tweezing technique must dispose of after each use all product or single-use items that have been in contact with a client's skin. D. All wax pots must be cleaned and disinfected in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations. No applicators may be left standing in the wax at any time, and wax may not be reused under any circumstances. E. All multi-use items must be properly cleaned, disinfected, and sterilized or sanitized prior to each service in accordance with this chapter. Health and safety standards, blood and body fluids. A. Blood can carry many pathogens. For this reason, licensees, meaning you, should never touch a client's open sore or wound. Powdered alum, septic powder, or a cyanacrylate, which is a liquid type of bandage, may be used on a contract the skin to stop minor bleeding and should be applied to the open area with a disposable cotton-tipped instrument that is then immediately discarded after application. B. In the case of blood or body fluid contact on any surface such as a table, chair, or the floor, an EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectant, a tuberculocidal disinfectant, or a blood and body fluid cleanup and disinfection chlorine bleach solution must be used per manufacturer's instructions immediately to clean up all visible blood and body fluids. C. If any non-porous instrument is contacted with blood or body fluid, it must be immediately cleaned and disinfected using an EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectant, a tuberculocidal disinfectant in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions, or totally immersed in a 10% bleach solution, which is 1 3/4 of a cup of household 5.25% bleach to 1 gallon of water for 5 minutes. D. If any porous instrument contacts blood or body fluid, it shall be immediately double bagged and discarded in a closed trash container or biohazard box. Health and safety standards, prohibited products or practices. A. Practitioners may not use any of the following substances or products in performing cosmetology services. 1. Methyl methacrylate liquid monomer, also known as MMA. 2. Razor-type callus shavers designed and intended to cut growth of skin such as corns and calluses. 3. Alum or other astringents in stick or lump form. Alum or other astringents in powder or liquid forms are acceptable. 4. Fumigants such as formalin, tablets, or liquids. The use of any product, preparation, or procedure that comes into contact with or penetrates the dermis layer of the skin is prohibited. Next, health and safety standards, FDA. A. Practitioners may not use any product in providing a service authorized under the Act that is banned or deemed to be poisonous or unsafe by the United States Food and Drug Administration or other local, state, or federal governmental agencies responsible for making such determinations. B. Possession or storage on licensed premises of any item banned or deemed to be poisonous or unsafe by the FDA or other governmental agencies will be considered prima facie evidence of its use. C. For the purpose of performing services authorized under the Act, no practitioner may buy, sell, use, or apply to any person liquid monomeric methyl methacrylate, also known as MMA. Health and safety standards, establishment. A. Establishments and schools must keep the floors, walls, ceilings, shelves, furniture, furnishings, and fixtures cleaned and in good repair. Any cracks, holes, or other similar disrepair not readily accessible for cleaning must be repaired or filled in to create a smooth, washable surface. B. All floors in areas where services under the Act are performed, including restrooms and areas where chemicals are mixed or where water may splash, must be of material which is not porous or absorbent and it is easily washable, except that anti-slip applications or plastic floor coverings may be used for safety reasons. Carpet is permitted in all other areas. C. Plumbing fixtures, including toilets and wash basins, must be kept clean. They must be free from cracks and similar disrepairs that cannot be readily accessible for cleaning. D. Each establishment and school must have suitable plumbing that provides an adequate and readily available supply of hot and cold running water at all times, and that is connected for drainage of sewage and potable water within the areas where the work is performed and supplies dispensed. E. Every establishment and school must provide at least one restroom located on or near the licensed premises. For public safety, chemical supplies may not be stored in the restroom. F. Food or beverage may not be prepared on licensed premises for sale. Prepackaged food or beverages may be sold to or consumed by clients. G. For public health and safety, licensed premises must eliminate any strong odors through adequate ventilations, including but not limited to exhaust fans and air filtrations to exhaust chemicals and fumes away from the public area and to provide for the input of fresh air. H. Licensed premises may not be utilized for living or sleeping purposes or any other purpose that would tend to make the premises unsanitary, unsafe, or endanger the health and safety of the public. An establishment or school that is attached to a residence must have an entrance that is separate and distinct from the residential entrance. Any door between a residence and a licensed facility must be closed during business hours. I. Only service animals are allowed in establishments and schools. Covered aquariums are allowed provided that they are maintained in sanitary conditions. Health and safety standards, eyelash extension application services. A practitioner offering eyelash extension application services must wash the practitioner's hands with soap and water prior to performing any service on a client. B. Equipment, implements, and materials must be properly cleaned and disinfected prior to providing services. C. Chairs and beds, including headrests, must be cleaned and disinfected after providing services to each client. The chair and beds must be made of or covered in a non-porous material that can be disinfected. D. After each client, the following implements must be cleaned and disinfected: tweezers, nasal aspirators, or electric eyelash dryer, and other items used for similar purposes. E. The following implements are single-use items and must be discarded in a trash receptacle after use: disposable gloves, tissue, disposable wipes, fabric strips, surgical tape, iPads, extensions, cotton swabs, face masks, brushes, extension pads, and other items used for a similar purpose. F. The following items that are used during services must be replaced with a clean item for each client: disposable and terry cloth towels, hair caps, headbands, brushes, gowns, spatulas that contact skin or product from multi-use container. G. A practitioner must use only properly labeled semi-permanent glue and semi-permanent glue remover that must be used according to the manufacturer's instructions. And lastly, H. Extensions must be stored in a sealed bag or cover container and must be kept in a clean, dry, debris-free storage area. Wow, okay, you guys, that was a lot, but that's okay. I know it was very repetitive, but we have to go through it, okay? I hope you're finding all of this information helpful. Again, you will be asked over some of this information on your state exam. So whether you're an eyelash specialist, you're a barber, a cosmetologist that does hair, someone that does only skincare, you're an esthetician or a nail tech, all of this information is extremely important. Do not ignore it, you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you're finding all of this information helpful. Don't forget to share it. Give it a thumbs up. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing. And I'll see you on the next one.